Izzy from Clarity Face Painting, and I've decided that I wanted to make some videos about face paints, so just videos of me doing different face paints to keep myself busy, keep myself practicing during the lockdown. So any face paints that you want me to try out, it can be Halloween face paints, just like your favourite character from a show. Put it in the comments somewhere on YouTube or on Facebook or anywhere, and I'll do my best. So yeah. So for my first video, I thought I would do the most popular, highly requested face paint that I get at kids' parties, and that is unicorn right here. Everyone loves a unicorn. There's sparkles. It's a unicorn. It's the best thing ever. Usually you do this on little kids so they don't have eye makeup on already, but you can just do it around that. So I can't be bothered to take my makeup off, so let's just get going. This isn't really a tutorial video because I'm not really qualified, but the things I have is a jar of water, some brushes, and some Snazaroo face paints. I use Snazaroo because it's best for all types of skin, so kids with sensitive skin aren't really affected by it, and things like eczema and stuff, it doesn't usually affect that kind of thing, so I use that to please the general masses. You can just get some off Amazon if you want to get them. They're about £8 a pot. Cool, let's get started. I have a headband on. I always put headbands on kids if I give them a face paint to keep their hair out their face, but I already have one on. So let's just get started. Generally with face paint, it's good to start with the lightest colour. I'm using my white here, it's very old. For some reason it's grey, so I'm just working in water into that to clean it, because we want a white-eared unicorn, not a grey-eared unicorn. Should be about enough. So when you're putting the water in as well, you don't want it to be like super watery, because otherwise nothing's going to come up. You need to sort of take the practice to learn the middle ground between it being too wet and being too dry. If it's too dry, it's not going to get on your face. So let's get started. And do the ears first. These are just sort of like cat-shaped ears. Cat-shaped ears, sort of, because there's like a cartoony unicorn and then like a little bump at the top there to turn them into horse ears. And then attempt symmetry. The good thing about painting small children is they actually don't care. You can stress to your heart's content about making these ears symmetrical, but if the kid's got a horn, they're happy as Larry. Yes, let's start with the light colours. I also do like a blue on the eyelids, but I'm not doing that today. Make sure you clean the brush properly. Get right in there at the bottom to get all of the colour off. You can, you know, if you were doing this for like a party, maybe you'd wait a little bit for the paint to dry, but generally if you're at like a birthday party or doing kids face paints, you've got to be quick because they do not want to sit there for a long time, so you just go straight in with the pink here. It's quite nice as well, it like mixes in, a bit of blending. Just get right in there. I like to do little like hair down here, so a little swirl there. It's very different painting on yourself. So again, generally when you're painting on kids, they're like wriggling all over the place. So you can't get like these nice swirls or anything like that. But they're never gonna look at an imperfection that you see and think, oh, I wish I hadn't got a face paint from them, because they're like 6. They just want to be a unicorn. Could be funky with it, you know, put some other little bits in. There is more pink, but we're not going to do that right now because we're going in to the horn. So I have gold face paint, which I really like. It just looks really cool. It's just like got a nice metallic look to it. Just really elevates the work. really make sure you clean your brush because I didn't quite clean it properly and now there's pink in it. But it's nothing a little bit of swirling around can't solve. So once you've got your brush nicely packed with paint, we're gonna go in and make our horn. I have done this one so many times, so I found doing it in like little segments. Sections like that. Make sure you get a nice point at the top, and then I'm gonna do a black outline on that so you can see it better. So I'm just cleaning my brush properly again, and then I'm going back in with the pink, and I'm gonna get a nice little curly fringe there. Kids often have very fine eyebrows, so you can just sort of go over those, but my hair's quite dark. Get that one going nicely down the middle. Little swirl there. Everyone's happy with that. Brilliant. Okay, I think we're about ready to go in with the other colours. So there's a lot of pink. It's quite monochromatic. So like I said, usually I'd have blue on the lid as well, which adds a bit more colour variation. If you have only one brush, that's fine. You can, I've done all of this with one brush. I am gonna use a smaller brush. That's what people do, isn't it? Smaller brush to go in for the black detail. And this is definitely one of those parts where you can start to get a little bit frustrated with how much children move. So I get my black, again, look all the way down to the bottom there. Black and white you use quite a lot. And we are gonna just get in there, you know? Outline those ears. If you're feeling funky, you can have a thicker line at the top. Bit of variety. As well, because we're not leaving time for the paint to dry, the black is mixing with the white. So in this circumstance where we're relaxing on a fine spring evening, painting our face, we can take the time to go over that again. But you know, in the hustle and bustle of a summer fete, you may not have the time. So that looks quite nice, sort of going in with the thick line at the top and getting thinner at the bottom. I don't know if I'll be able to continue that if I go over it again. No. And then I'll go into the middle of the ears to get a bit more detail in that so you can see what they are. Yeah, this kind of face painting is very much children's party face painting, so the details that you're putting in, I'm not trying to convince you that I have real horses on my forehead. So you can go in with this much more illustrative style, which is fun. It's fun! Cool, so I'm really happy with that. Okay, so this is sort of what I was saying before with the horn. So we're getting that sort of circular look, so I do it in segments. I'm going to start at the bottom because that's just what my gut's saying. Especially with these smaller brushes, you want to make sure you don't have too much paint on it, otherwise there's no point using a small brush because you're still getting a thick line. And there you go. Make sure you get that top bit nice and pointy. Not like that. The good thing about this paint as well is you can just remove it with like baby wipes. If it's still wet, you can probably just wipe it. So, like I said before, this paint is usually very good for sensitive skin. Pretty much all water-based, so it shouldn't set anything off. But if it does, it comes off so easily. You can just use soap and water if you want. Gonna do the hair now. Okay. I'm gonna add a few extra little swirls in here just so you can really see the curls of the hair. Wow. This is a nightlife look. I like it. So for the picture that I use, there's a lot of glitter as well. Sometimes there's not time for that, but I always show them in the mirror. I'm like, what do you think? Here you go. You're a unicorn. And if you can sort of tell if a child is disappointed, so you can say, oh, I can add some glitter if you like. And who in their right mind would say no to glitter? So I am gonna give it a go. So start off, just get your white paint. Again, I'm still using this small brush. Make sure you don't have too much paint on it, and then we're just gonna go in and we're gonna draw some sparkles on. I mean, just that, just 2 cross lines over the top really does a lot. I mean, look, that's such tiny little details, but it has really brought it to life. And with that, I think we're done. Very happy with that. Okay, so that is my first face paint. If you have, again, I'll do anything. Like Halloween, face paint, little stuff like this, even smaller things than this. Anything you fancy seeing, drop it down. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!